Journeyman. The Journeyman, as you know by now, is my journey to that nexus of understanding of macro, crypto, and the exponential age of technology. I tried to bring all of you along this journey by talking about different component parts, whether it's technology, crypto, or the macro, and often I bring them all together as well. So you think of it as your learning journey because you're piggybacking on my learning journey. Now, one of the things I've been passionate about for a long time now is this idea that we've got 5 years left before the economic singularity, when AI and the robots change the structure of economies, business models, and our lives in general. It's something I've been trying to focus people on, saying digital assets and crypto are one of the only ways for you to protect yourself, and we've only got 5 years before we just don't know how things work anymore. That's all part of my exponential age thesis. This thesis that technology is going to go exponential in its adoption and its impacts on everybody's lives. Now, most of you don't really yet grasp how big this all is. You see bits of it. You see bits of AI posted here and there. None of you are using it enough, and nobody really understands the profound impact it has. And it's almost tough to make sense of. So I love the idea of getting this kind of hive mind together to make sense of the world around us, what is happening, what it means for us, where it's all going. David, how are you, my friend?
Very well, thank you, Raoul. How are you? Think you've been a busy man.
I have. I've been traveling a lot. Really interesting. I was in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Qatar, and I was at the Abu Dhabi Investment Council, which is one of the big sovereign wealth funds, and they just made it very clear that everybody in the region, and Tom will know this because he's out there as well, is that they've all been given the mandate. Number one is AI, and number two is blockchain. Our core thesis is what they're building their entire future country stack on. And this is the whole Trump visit that went there. It's all about the same thing. So they know they've got abundant energy, which is part of your thesis, David. They know they've got abundant energy. They know that they're going to have to adopt technology at scale. They've got young populations that are growing, and they think they can be not only a regional leader, but at the exponentialist. realvision.com/the future. And you can become part of this incredible community where we all figure it out together. And I'd love to have you along for the journey. It's the game of sovereign nations because it has to be, but it's the future of everything. If we saw one preemptive version of this with nuclear technology, in fact stopped large conflicts because you end up scaling this technology and it becomes a way of balancing power. And this is the new power. Intelligence is the new power, is the new nuclear weapon. And you're going to see, what the Middle East is doing is building their own Arabic language versions and everything else. And we're going to see this regionalization of this, as you say, but become a slave to the superpowers who have it.
Yeah.
It was the same with military, that Europe didn't have a military really. And then so you become a slave to the US and NATO. And here they're going to become a slave to this. So I don't understand it, but it's fascinating to watch. The other thing that I've been watching is Elon, now he's not so involved in the government, has been spending a lot of time talking about the Kardashev scale. And, obviously he runs solar businesses, but, his fundamental belief is all we need is solar. And there's a lot of debate going on about how fast China is accelerating solar, and it's adding something like the entire world's nuclear plans for the next 10 years per year. We need to organize that. So Meltem, it was a famous person in crypto, and she saw the opportunity of what this is going to lead to in terms of the need for energy, and she's built a VC about alternative energies, nuclear, distributed energy grids, all of that stuff. She's another ultra smart lady in that space, and you need to talk to her because they're doing some cool stuff as well.
Yeah, I see her on Twitter, and
is doing it to put compute. Why? Because of I guess gravitational stuff, temperature, conductivity. There's a whole bunch of advantages, and you kind of think that is another part of this story that is yet to play out. But this is the biggest thing that ever has flown. And this is not full scale. Meanwhile, he's pitching the boring company in the Middle East. And everyone's like, what the fuck is the boring company got to do with all of this? And as I've explained, the boring company is actually for Mars. It's how you get to build on Mars is underground because of the atmospheric conditions are tough. And if you measure the boring company machines and Starship, they're very close. And the idea is clearly that you're going to have to send those to space. And yes, you can put them together with the robots in space itself, but really you have to get these massive machines to Mars. Possibility, and therefore every future state is a possibility and a probability, and therefore you can path direct by doing it. But I've talked about this just in our personal lives, how you can manifest your own destiny by kind of living in the future, in that future quantum world, and then forcing it into being is much easier than moving forwards and trying to aim for something. Living in the future, turning back and saying, how did I get here, is a much easier way. And, you know, how do we get here is, right, consciousness needs to expand. How does it do it? Well, there's so many parts of it happens. I don't know. It just feels like it's something to do with the reason that hyperstition exists and has always existed. It's idea to everything, and everything changes.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't take what we think the world is, you know, our construct of physics or biology or genetic sciences. It doesn't do any of that. It does what you said. It goes to battle with itself and has a gazillion permutations and combinations of testing, and it comes up with truths, which is astonishing.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, now I remember what set me off on this. I mean, you know, you talked about AI having sort of new thoughts, creating new knowledge. I mean, you're totally right. You know, the AlphaGo system devised Go strategies like in days that we'd never seen before, right? This is an ancient game, thousands of years old. It devised incredibly creative strategies that we'd never seen before. That is nevertheless like subjective. You can argue about how creative its new strategies are. Even Go experts admit they're extremely creative. This Strassen algorithm enhancement is not subjective, it's objective. It's 24/7 emotional companion. We're doing tons of work on humor, on empathy, on understanding, because what people need to understand is that billions of people are going to have like a close relationship with this kind of AI. This is something we've been talking about for years inside the Exponentialists. I was talking about it for years before that. As I always say, people would laugh me out the door. Like when I would go into organizations and say, people are going to have meaningful conversations with AIs. We're there now.
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support. Enjoy the video.